What's up guys, it's Huddy, and I'm back with another video on the team channel, and for this video, as you can see, we're doing a thumbnail tutorial. So first thing you want to do is get a model, just any model. I'll have some models linked in the description to start you off. So I guess I will go with Alright, let's go with Power Patroller. So you add in the model, and then a little tip I like to do when you have the model is so actually before I explain that, so basically I'll sort of show you guys around. So this is so when you export the model, it comes with two things. These bones, these is what you use mostly, and then this is the mesh. This is like what makes up the actual character. So these bones basically control what the mesh does. So and then so these are the tools. Usually you're mainly going to use rotate and move. That's about it. These other stuff you don't really need to worry about. This is just scaling, transform. You don't really need to worry about those. Here you're not going to need to worry about view and select or object. Just add, so you can add lighting and stuff. And then this toggles between the modes. So the main modes that you're going to be using are object mode, edit mode, and pose mode. When you're on the mesh, when you've clicked on the mesh, you're not going to see pose mode because pose mode is only for these bones. So you're going to pose mode, and then these bones are all multicolored now. The white ones mean that it controls a bunch of things, downwards. Like this, if I rotate it, it controls everything. But then this one, like say move this one, it just moves that one part. So, okay, so that's what each bone is like. Okay, so and then when you're posing, always, other than facials and yeah, I think that's it. Other than facials, which I'll get to later, you always want to use rotate. Do not use move. Because if you move, then if you try to like move the arm, then it'll look like what? Never use move. Okay, so the way I'm getting around is holding the middle mouse clip, or holding down my scroll wheel and then dragging around. That's how you turn, and then to toggle side by side, you can hold down shift and then do your middle mouse. Or what I usually do is I just use this. You just click this and then move it around. Okay, so that's that. I'll explain about posing later. Oh yeah, up here, what you want is, so basically global means it's always like straight no matter what. Local means that like here it's like through this direction. Here it's like this direction, and it's more adaptive to each bone. And then this, so basically individual origins means each moves by itself. Medium point, if you're selecting multiple, medium point means they all move at one point. Okay, so next is gonna be these things. So never do wireframe. So basically solid mode. Solid mode, it's like this. You don't see any colors or anything. It's like quickest, and it'll help you like speed up your workflow. To see colors and stuff, you go into material preview. The materials don't load in very quickly, and then it sort of slows you down, but honestly it doesn't really make a difference unless you have a very, very complicated thumbnail you're working on. So just let it load. Alright, so the textures are in. You can see the colors and stuff like that. You can see like that, and then sometimes I use this, sometimes I use solid mode, just whatever, personal preference, I guess. And then the last mode is viewport shading. If you're in cycles. So so basically this shows the lighting too, not only the colors, but it has to take a while to render in, as you can see. So I'm going back into solid mode. So okay, so now to here, what you want to do is the two main render engines are cycles, which it's like noisy, but I don't know, I like the lighting better, and then Eevee, which is you don't get all this noise and stuff, but it's a lot more glossy and shiny when you have lights. So I don't really like Eevee that much, unless you have really good Eevee settings. So I use cycles, and then this GPU compute, and then unless you want your render times to be really long, and you want your render to be really noisy, set this denoising tab, open it up, and then set the render to open image denoise. It's better than this NLM. Okay, so scroll down. You want to make sure that here underneath film, so you open up film, you want to make sure that transparent is ticked, otherwise there'll be like a background, you won't be able to have it as a PNG. Yeah, that's about it for that. This here, this is just controlling the camera size. Camera dimensions, leave it at 1920 by 1080 unless you're making something else. Nothing important here, nothing important here. Here, I'll get to it later about lighting. And this is like, these are about whichever object you're selected on. And then, so, like, I'm selected on the mesh right here, or the bones right here. And these are all for the bones. You really don't need to worry about very much here until you get a little more advanced. Okay, so yeah, that's like okay. So there's one more thing here. This gets rid of all the stuff, and you can just see it. You can see it like just without anything, without the bones in the way, just for previewing it. So what I like to do is so drag up here and go like this, and you have two tabs. So what I like to do is when you have a camera, add camera. So I'm holding S to make the camera bigger, holding S and dragging. So now the camera's bigger. So let's like put the camera somewhere just right there, very simple. Just pointing at here. When I want to see the preview, what I do is on this tab I click this and then usually go into render mode to see the preview of my thumbnail, how it's going. So like let's quickly just move it and just give it a viable camera angle. So and then I just go into rendered mode with this tick to see the preview. Another thing you can do to look for a preview is click your camera, click this camera logo, and then go to viewport display, pass or pout, and then make it fully so you don't have to see anything else around it. Alright, now time for making the actual thumbnail. So, okay, say I just want to make a simple thumbnail of a character holding a gun and, I don't know, looking mad or something. So, I'm gonna include a gun. Say I want to use, let's go with the AK. Okay, so the AK is really small. So usually there's two options for sizing. One is so you go here. One is where the scale for everything is 0.011. That makes the file size smaller and makes it much better. So if something is 1, then you want to make sure you make it to 0.011. 0.011. Then copy that, put it through. Get rid of this camera. Hold X and then click delete. Okay, so now that we're right here, it might be really sensitive for rotation. So I just go here, move, zoom in, move, go there, move, and just play around with it until it's less sensitive. Okay, so we're right here now. We have a gun and we have a character. So now what do we do? Okay, so this technique's a little more advanced, but it's really helpful. So first thing I would do is I move this gun like this. Just hold on. So rotate it like this sort of, and then move it up to there, up to the hand, and like just sort of position it kind of where it might be in the hand. You don't have to, and we don't have to pose the hand yet, but this is just a very helpful tip. So just position it, dragging these things into the hand. Alright, so we haven't posed the hand yet, but that's like sort of the position where the hand would be. And then make sure you're on local for this, it makes it so much easier. Remember from up there. So then like pose it there in the hand, and then so this is the complicated part. So you want to go to this thing, this like multiple circles, add object constraint, child of, and then make the target, click this eyedropper, and then make it and click it on these bones, which is the .ao, not the .mo, right? And it'll disappear. And the bone you want to attach it to is hand L. It depends whichever right or left. And then if it's still not here, you just click set inverse, and then it should pop up. Alright, so then now let me show you what that does. Basically, it makes it stick to the character. Like if I go here and rotate this, select this, then it makes the thing stick. Alright, so that's that. Alright, now I'll start posing. So usually, as I said, you want to use rotate, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like act out the pose in by myself, and then figure out how to pose this back, because the downfall of so many thumbnails is it looking stiff. So you want to make sure you pose these backbones. So say I want it to look sort of like this, and then pose like the legs a little. You just gotta go like this, and like maybe move this one forward and like this one backwards a bit. That maybe pose this back a bit and then bring this one forward. Basically just play around so it doesn't look very stiff. Another tip is to use these clavicles to move the shoulders. Alright, so what you want to do is let's make a simple gun pose. So like bring this here, bring this up. So the main ones you're going to want to use are this one, and then all the hand bones. So maybe let's make this like up like this. Here, move this one forward, this one there, that in, move this one back. Wait, and then okay, so then now let's do a quick tip for hand posing. So make sure this hand is snug on the gun. So does that look snug? Yeah, sort of. And then hold on, I'm just moving. Don't use these bones on the hands very often, but I'm just making it closer to the gun. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to select. So there's the knuckle. There's like all these joints have a bone on them. So to grip onto it, this is a very quick tip. Just select all these 6 by holding shift and then clicking. Click this individual origins, and then take this blue one, whichever one looks right, and then just drag like that, and then it makes a fist really quickly, and it's really easy. So I don't think this gun is in the right spot, so I'm just gonna go in object mode, move it a bit. Okay, and then this finger can just go around the trigger. Alright, so then I'm going to maybe move that, put that in, and then turn this wrist down a bit, move this up a bit more. Basically just play around with it until it's in a pose of your liking. Alright, so that looks good. I'm gonna go like this, and then that, and then this one maybe I'll move this shoulder up, and maybe move this and stick this hand on the gun. So move this arm down, move that on the gun. Alright, like that, and then, wait, no, what? So yeah, sometimes perspective can be really weird, like this. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna speed up posing this and putting this hand on the gun. Alright, so that's done, and now we have 3 more things left. One, facials, camera angle, and lighting. Okay, so here we have this face, right? So usually what I do is, okay, so what's the mood gonna be? Maybe it'll be a, I don't know, happy. So I take this jawbone, you can see it, if it like has all these lines connecting to the jaw. Open it up, it's like opening up the mouth, never move it. I used to make that mistake, never move it. Okay, so it's very sensitive right now. Let's zoom. Okay, so, okay, right here, yeah, okay, so what else, when you are happy, so basically what you want to do with the Fortnite characters is like act out in your own face, but then over exaggerate it. So we have to move these lip corners up. When you're smiling, you move your lip corners go up, and then your cheeks, they move up, but don't go too much because then it makes this nose really stiff. Your eyes get smaller, sort of, that. Okay, and then move this out a bit. Looks kind of weird. But then in this way. Out this way, I guess. Okay, out this way. Because sometimes it like gets really weird, I guess. I'm not sure how to say that. Oh. Okay, and then I'm gonna close the mouth a bit, actually. So like that is basically all you need to worry about for facials. Just something like that, something simple. And then like this. Okay, so now we need to add the camera angle. Okay. So here is a tip for camera angles. So obviously go into here, into your camera angle. Just position it somewhere simple. Okay, I'm gonna close that mouth a bit more too. Open it a lot. Yeah. Okay, so we have this camera angle. So the tip for camera angles, you go into camera, you go like this. It's usually an item, so you go view, camera, and then lock camera to view, and then move this a bit. So basically, as you rotate with middle mouse click, then it rotates for you, and then let's position it somewhere like maybe like around that. That looks good. I'll have to fix. Actually, I think it's fine. That looks good. Okay, and then unlock it, and then move this back. So now, I guess we can have it looking at the camera or looking up. Usually when it's smiling, you want it like just looking up and away. And then close, and then move these eyeballs. Okay, and this mouth looks really, really weird. I'm just gonna move these back in. You don't want to rotate these, you just want to move these. Move this lip up. Alright, so that's looking okay. Simple pose. Okay, and now what we need to do, simple pose and camera angle, and now what we need to do is lighting. So there's 2 types of lighting, HDRI, non-HDRI. Most tutorials say you should use an HDRI when you're starting because it's simpler, but I think that it's just better to use non-HDRI. Hold on, I'm gonna change this a bit. I think it's better not to use the HDRI. It's just like good practice and a good habit to get in while you're starting. So then what I do is, so actually I need to, alright, so what I do is I usually add a sun, light, sun. So go into rendered mode here. Go like this, boom, and a sun. It's dim right now, but we can go into this light tab and then turn up the strength. And then see how these shadows are really hard? Like they're crisp. You want to have them softer, not so like defined. So turn this angle up to around like 20, 30. Okay, so there's still like a lot of shadows and stuff. So I go here into this world tab, turn this up a bit, and then I also turn ambient occlusion on. This can go down a bit, but that just makes it brighter all around. So that's already looking really, really good in terms of lighting. And the last thing you want to do for lighting is, hold on. First, before you do too much in render mode, just save it. Make sure you don't lose your files. Okay, and then go into here, add light area. So this is what's called rim lighting, which is lighting from the back that makes it look a lot better. So you just want to add area lights and then rotate it. Here's a tip. Actually, no, hold on. Move it out to where you want it to be. And then a tip is you can drag this thing and point it where you want. So you can see how there's already some light coming in from the back. Let's add one there. I guess let's do two. Let's duplicate it and then rotate this one that way a bit. Maybe make these higher strength so you can see it a little bit more. Okay, so that's actually pretty good for now for lighting and stuff. Okay, so I think actually wait, this is a little too harsh on the top of the head. See right there. Okay, so I think we're good now to render. So what you do for rendering is you click render, render image. Drag this onto this monitor. Alright, so it's gonna take a while to render. If you have open image denoise, it won't have noise like this. It'll start denoising like that. It'll start denoising it. So I'm gonna speed up the render and be back when the render's done. Alright, so the render's done. So what you do is go here, image, save as, and just like save it to your desktop. Save that. Okay, and then and then you want to open up Photoshop. So I'm gonna cut to opening up Photoshop and then load into Photoshop. I mean, you don't have to use Photoshop. Photoshop it costs $10 a month, but you can find a lot of easy cracks online. I can link some in the description. So yeah, so open up Photoshop. So here, file, open, the render, which is this, open. Okay, so these are some settings that really help. So make sure you're on this render. Filter, camera raw filter, and this makes your I'll show the improvement. So when camera raw filter opens, and then so copy these settings. So usually if it's like a orangish skin, you want to turn temperature up a bit, exposure up a bit, not too much, contrast up, highlights up, shadows down, whites up, blacks down, texture up, clarity up, dehaze up, vibrance up, saturation a bit, and then curves, turn this down, turn this up just a little bit, and then just turn the exposure up a bit more. So that is a little bright. Alright, so that looks good. Alright, so let's look at this. So right here it looks all gray and stuff, and then you click here and it's so much better. Okay, so there is, okay, so there's a lot of packs and stuff that you can get for backgrounds, but I have this screenshot pack for backgrounds. So I open up the packs, screenshot pack. Okay, and then it loads into Photoshop, and then just drag basically any background into the project. So here, let's look for a good background. I think this will work. This will work. Alto here. So, and then now we want to I guess move this layer below, and then Command T or Control T, whatever you're on, and just like I'm guessing I'm gonna make that bigger, just look better. Alright, so then this Control T, Command T, you want to make this bigger, and then if it's like this, it looks like it's sinking through the ground, right? So hold Alt to zoom out, that's what I'm doing. And then so make it bigger, and then rotate it a bit to fit, and then now it doesn't look like it's sinking into the ground. It looks like it's a picture that's actually taken. So that is actually, wait, so if this is for a team, this is a side thing. If it's not for a team, you can just leave it. So you go here, add a layer, and then what you do is go into this pen tool for the your logo in there. Click here, click there, and then drag to make a little curve, and then you just click around and connect them. Right click here, make selection. Okay, so now I have this, and then hold and then hit G, and this might be on gradient. Just turn it to paint bucket, and then pick your color, like bluish for Alto. Fill it in, and then you have this, and then you can just add your logo. Let me just grab that real quick. You can just put in your logo, resize it, Control T, move it to where you want it to be, over there, and then you can go here, double click, and then click color overlay just to change the colors really quick. Like say I want to make this white. Okay, and then there you have that. So yeah, that's about it for this video. You can very quickly make a thumbnail, a 3D thumbnail like this for your team or for yourself. You're gonna have to practice it a little bit to get very good, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more of these types of videos, these types of tutorial videos, then just comment down below, and then if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. I'll respond as quick as I can. Alright, thank you.